So teenagers, a nonprofit is helping to make money management, easy for me to say, money management easier for teens. This is Roy Paul. He's the executive director of Senseability. Get it? Senseability. And he's joining us now. Good morning. Thank you for being here with us.
I'm happy to be here.
So right before we started talking, we said, man, we all wish we had education like this. Tell us about what you do with Senseability.
Sure. Well, Senseability was really founded under the principle that there is wealth and income inequality in this country. And we know through studies that financial literacy is incredibly important to help move the tide from those who don't have to those who do have.
Absolutely. I mean, it's as simple as educating on so many levels, because without that education, you're robbing someone from even able to move anywhere.
Well, you know, it's fascinating because I've been traveling across the country and I've seen, particularly in the Midwest and certain areas, that the lack of financial literacy really does have some hard and fast results. You can see that there are a lot of payday loan centers in abundance, right? You drive through communities, and that's really all that's there. I was in Gary, Indiana, and it was really blight the community. I turned a few corners, I saw a building with bright lights, and it was a payday loan center. Right? And so people who don't have the basic knowledge to manage their finances end up being in some very precarious situations.
Absolutely, and sometimes never really able to get out of them, leading to so many more things.
Right.
So you're trying to stop this at a young age, before these kids start their first jobs.
Yeah, teenagers are at that critical moment. Everyone always asks, why do you focus on teenagers? Because they're right at the point where they're going to be inundated with credit card solicitations. They're going off to college. And many of them don't understand the very basics even about college management. I talk to teenagers all the time. They know they're going to college. They know they're taking out loans. And sometimes to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars in loans over 4 years. And I say to them, when you graduate in 4 years, how much is your monthly payment going to be? They can't answer the question, right? And so what ends up happening is they get that 6-month grace period, and then they get that bill, and it shocks the heck out of them. Go, whoa, I can't afford $800. I don't have $1,000. But before they take out the loans, no one is saying to them, this is going to be your monthly payment. And so I say to them, depending on the career you want to pursue, I don't know if you want to be in communications or be a broadcast journalist, right? What is the average salary for the market you want to be in?
Right.
Take that salary, and 20% of that is what you should be paying back in loans. Because what we find is that a lot of people end up in careers, and they end up making $30,000, $40,000 without factoring in what that monthly payment's going to be.
Right.
And it ends up being 80% of the check, right? So they can't afford to live off the money they're making. So if it's more than 20% of a prospective salary, your monthly bill when you graduate college, you're taking out too much in loans. You don't want to be saddled with debt to the point where 20, 30 years go by, you're still paying off.
You're still paying off. I have friends who are still paying off their college loans. And this is something that actually, if you start thinking about it in high school, then that can help you choose which direction and path you go in college, right? Like maybe choosing a community or a city school instead of jumping right into the most expensive university you can find.
Yeah, biggest misnomer out there that community colleges are like 13th grade. There are some really great community colleges, really great city and state universities, and people really should avail themselves of the option, especially if you can't afford to take out $40,000, $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
But it really requires being honest about your financial situation. Right? A lot of people don't sit down and say, hey, mom and dad, do we have a college savings plan? How much money do we have? If I take out a loan, can you help me pay for it while I'm in school? Basic questions people don't really ask themselves.
Right.
And then later on in life, they realize that they should have asked those questions.
Such an incredible organization and way of thinking. How can people find out more information? How can we help you spread the word?
Senseability.org. We give our information for free. So if a school district or a nonprofit contacts us, we'll give them all of our curriculum free of charge.
Roy, thank you so much for being with us today. Such great information that so many of us should hang on.